Glad to be a consultant, a mentor, whatever, a partner, an advisor, whatever. We appreciate you for this is word saying we thank you.
So after your event, when you are ready to do it, I'm available.
We'll be in touch.
Okay.
And I gotta tell you, this our main man here now. So
Absolutely. Like
I'm
I'm just trying to fill in. I'm just filling in. That's it.
that's who do our podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The bell out here. I'm gonna get this drip. I'll be right out. My name's Fred East, co-founder of Working on Real Dreams. It's the acronym WORD, which is Working on Real Dreams. My brother and I, Harry, we started the program, and for the purpose of making a difference in the lives of especially the young people that have yet to live a lot of life, but have a lot left to live. So that's basically our purpose, to do the things that we can do to prevent some of these youngsters from going through some of the same things and falling the same pitfalls that we fell in. Because life is not easy, especially when you don't have the proper guidance and you just don't know the way. And who knows the way? Because there's no set way for nobody. So everybody has to live their own life and figure things out for themselves. But we want to do everything that we can to help and aid some of the young people in getting through some of the things that may be of difficulty for them and cause problems. And I want to introduce my brother, Harry.
Okay, my name is Harry Easter, and man, my main objective is to see that you don't travel the road I traveled, man. Because I'm gonna tell you some things, man. I've been shot up, I've been to penitentiary, I done did everything that you think you could do, but it didn't work out. And I want to talk to you today about things I can't tell you how to live, because everybody lives their own life. But I can tell you this, you need to use knowledge as you live. You need common sense. I'm gonna tell you some things I'm gonna be talking to you about. I'm gonna talk to you about procrastinating. That means that you put off today what you can do. I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next day, I'll do it this. I did that and it didn't work. I'm gonna tell you about the rule followers. Persons follow the rules to the limit. He don't deviate. Sometimes you have to get outside the rules. I'm gonna tell you about people pleasers. As people you please, it's not wrong pleasing some people, but you're gonna ask yourself, why am I pleasing them? What is my purpose? Is it to please them, or is it to make me happy? Both of us get something out of it. You have to ask yourself those questions. Or you, the outcast, we're gonna talk about that. Do you feel like you belong in this crowd? Do they accept you? How do you have to work to get in? Do you have to violate your principle to get in? You have to think about all those things. The self-doubter, that's the person that has doubt in themselves. But you have to say, well, I can't do that. Because I done did that, man. See, I doubted myself. The excuse maker, man. But you say, well, I do it, but not today. I do it, but maybe tomorrow. Man, you're supposed to do things when you can, The pessimistic, that's a person that has doubt. He said, I don't think I can do that. I don't know, that's kind of hard, See, and I'm here to let you know you can overcome all these things. And then I want to talk about fear. Fear is a powerful element in our lives, man. You got to overcome that in your life. And I'm going to tell you how you work on that. And we're going to overcome that together, man, because that's the main thing that kept me going to jail, getting shot up. Fear. Scared of this, scared of that, this right here. Didn't do that. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is trauma. Everybody in the world face some type of trauma. I don't know what it may be. I don't know what your trauma. I faced it, man, and didn't handle it too well. It caused me to do things I swore I wouldn't do, but I did them anyway. And it caused me to go to the penitentiary. Trauma is what caused me to get shot up a lot of times. So we're going to go through all those things, man, because I'm going to tell you this right here. I'm not here to tell you how to live. Because like I said, don't know two people live the same way. You're going to have to follow your own path. But what I want you to do, man, is use common sense as you travel your road. You know, in other words, is it good for me? Is it good for them? What is it good for? What is the outcome? What's the consequences? We want you to ask yourself all those things, man. If you're ready to face the consequences, then let you do it, man. Do it if you're ready to face the consequences. Don't do it and then holler back, oh, I didn't know, I didn't know that. You know, don't be in that boat, because I've been there too. So I'm gonna ask you this right here, man. Y'all go with me, man. Let's do this together, Jack. Because, man, this could be a beautiful world. I'm 83 years old, man. I've been blessed to be this old, man. But I'm gonna tell you something, Jack. You might not make it.
I'm glad you touched on that piece about the fear, and with fear and pain, you know, they kind of go together. Those are some of the things that we had talked about, and that was the one of the things that struck me the most is when we was going into the different schools working with these youngsters, and they called them last chance schools, and dealing with kids that was at risk, but I never did feel like they was at risk. I feel like we was dealing with youngsters that was in at-risk situations or at-risk environment. And the thing that that's something that we talked about was that and this is one of the things that stood out the most to me, is that I call it generational incarceration, and that's because we work with so many different youngsters that follow in the footsteps of their parents or their uncles and their aunts, and those are the very same people that's been in and out of prison themselves. So consequently, we dealing with people that want to be where they don't really want to be. They strive, they doing the things and living the life and idolizing people that's already in and out of prison. So consequently, this is going to cause them to be in them same places and live them same lives, you know. And that's some of the things that we had talked about. And because we was, the beauty in the lives that we live was that we went through those things, but our kids didn't. And that's when I ain't never figured out why or why not. And mine didn't, yours didn't. Our brother Joe, he lived the same life we live, but none of our kids went through that. You know, have you ever figured that out?
Well, this is what I got to say about that, man. Is that I'm not gonna live the life my daddy lived, regardless of how he did it. You can try to implicate him, like whatever he was doing to get some money, you can say, well, I'm gonna do it. But you don't know exactly how he did it. So whatever you do, you got to find your own way of doing it.
Right.
And when you got to find your own way of doing it, then you got to use your own mind, man, because you can't take your daddy's mind, your mama's mind with you. You got to take your mind. And when you're taking your mind with you, you got to use what I call common sense. You know, I can't say what your parents had or what they didn't have and all that, you know, but I do know this right here. When you go, you go. You can't take nobody with you. You was in your own mind. You doing what you tell yourself to do. Ain't nobody in your head telling you, say you go up there and shoot this person, you go up there and do it. You telling yourself that. And when you telling yourself that, you also tell yourself, what happened if this happened? What happened if that happened? What takes place if this takes place? You have to ask yourself a lot of questions, man, because the consequences will be so great, you know, so great. Hey, man, I was in the penitentiary, and it's thousands of youngsters in there, 14, 15, 20 years old, never getting out because they made the wrong decision, man. They were so mad, they killed somebody in front of everybody. Went to the penitentiary, and now they're forever. You know, forever. Man, can't you visualize that? They had the opportunity. I bet you a lot of times they done laid in their bed and cried. So I wish I had did it like that. Even if I did it, I wish I had did it. I wish I had tried another way. Because I know I done did that, man. I done cried in the bed. I did 15 flat years now. I cried a minute a night. Wish I hadn't did it like I did it, man. because I caused myself a lot of pain and misery. Don't you know when you're in jail, you ain't got a woman? Can you imagine a man being without a woman? Huh?
No,
Can
we
you
don't want to imagine that. We don't want to imagine
Hey,
that.
man, that's an impossible dream, man. It make you, and I hate to say it, but it makes you real freaky. Because you got to do some things that you never thought you would do to overcome that. And it ain't easy, man. You know, you be surprised how your mind functions, man, when you're not able to be with the opposite sex. Just think it, man. Hey, and I'm telling you, man, I don't want to see you go through what I went through. But I'm telling you, man, I suffered. Don't you know it was so bad in there that when you use the bathroom, somebody might be eating in the same room with you, and they shit. You got to smell them and eat.
Yeah.
When they say count time, I don't care. They don't say shit time. They say count time. In other words, you can't be on the toilet. You got to stand up for count.
Yeah.
When they say count.
That's where they come
And
up
then
with
when
that.
they say march, you got to march in line. You got to have your badge on you all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't want to live like that.
Yeah, control environment. I got a question though, and you made a good point. Who were some of the influences on your life, good or bad, coming up?
Oh man, I used to see people out there that were selling drugs. Seemed like they had all the gas. They had the cars, like gas, like them, and stuff like that, man. And I wanted to be like,
Wow.
you know, I want them gals to say, "Ooh, Harry, I like you," you know what I mean? For the wrong reason, man. When a woman goes messing with you because you got some money, you got to keep getting money. You know, you got to find a way for somebody to like you because of who you are, not who they want you to be.
Right.
You know,
Right.
you got to fall in love with you, man. Like I am today, man. I love some Harry, man. I'm 83 years old. I don't think no man on earth finer than me. You know, God didn't make no two of me.
I don't know about that though, Harry.
Yeah,
I got you on that one.
Hey, no, you say what you want. hey, they say,
I don't know, Harry,
hey,
man.
'cause I think your meal was rigged. Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question for Fred though. Fred, you being in the situation, the stuff that you did, how can you convince a youngster to listen to you when they say, "Oh man, he done been around the block, he done did what you want"? How can you convince a youngster today to change his life?
Well, that's a good question. And the thing is, I can't. I can't convince nobody to change their life. The main thing that I can do with any youngster is first listen to them. And once you listen and give them a chance to express themselves and talk to you, in actuality, that gives them a chance to hear themselves. Because the answer for what they going through and is in them. And I just want to be what I would call a conductor, where I can help emphasize it and help bring the thing out of them that's in them that's righteous, as opposed to the nonsense. Cause they can get a whole lot of feedback about some garbage. You know, they got people on the sideline all the time, in their household, in the school with them, you know, just waiting for an opportunity to be able to share something with them that's gonna bring them down. But I want to be able to listen to them. That was one of the first things we found out when we started going in them schools. We was trying to talk to them and tell the youngsters, well, let's worry about this and that, and the beauty in those youngsters that we was talking to is that they was honest with us. And they told us out the gate, say, man, we don't want to hear that. I don't want to do that. And Harry looked at him and said, well, what do you want to do? And they told us, say, well, let's go lift some weights. Let's play some chess. Let's do it. And that's how we ended up doing the different things like that with them. Because while we were doing these things with them, that gave us the opportunity to be able to listen and share with them. I don't know about want to hear you standing up in no classroom telling, well, you need to do this and you need to do this and I did this and I did. They ain't trying to hear that, you know. But that's my answer to the question that you asked me.
Can I add something to that?
Hold up, Harry. I gotta get something straight before we go to the next question. You
Man,
say
I
ain't
don't
nobody.
say question.
You say ain't nobody better looking. My wife says different, man. My wife says different, man.
Oh, she picked you, man. You know, yeah, I don't know why. She didn't pick you because of looks.
Right,
Okay, because I mean, you're gonna get old, she gonna leave you. If she picked you on the strength of looks.
That's right.
So what I'm saying, man, dialogue, this way, I'm not trying to tell you right from wrong.
Right.
I'm trying to create some dialogue. So in other words, we want you to talk back to me. You might say, you're wrong. But I want you to bring it to me. If you think I'm wrong or whatever I say, tell me.
I mean, if they haven't traveled a certain road, how can they say you wrong?
If not, hey, I told my dad he was wrong.
You ain't never thought your daddy was wrong?
I mean, if I walk down the street, there's a pothole in the street, and I tell my son I'm down the street because of a pothole, am I wrong for telling him that? When I done been down the same road?
No, you ain't wrong. But if he go out there and hit the pothole, I'm gonna tell you this right here, you gonna still love it when he come out of it.
Right.
But what is gonna be the consequence?
Right.
He might break his leg, he might break his arm, I don't know.
Absolutely.
So what we saying is that you give good information, that don't mean he gonna concede to it.
Right.
That don't mean he gonna live by it. So that's what I'm saying by common sense. Man.
Absolutely.
Common sense is when you make a good decision about which way to go. Think about it. I'm not saying every time you use common sense, things gonna come out perfect.
Absolutely.
This is not a perfect world, man.
Right.
And so we just trying to create some dialogue. And then I still make mistakes. You know what? You know when they say you don't make no mistakes, they say that he's at peace and all this stuff. He dead. When you stop making mistakes and stop doing these kind of things, you ain't living no more.
Yeah, you do.
I don't mind making mistakes, but I want to be able to, in a position where I can change them without them creating too much damage to me. See, I don't want to be my worst enemy. I want to show myself I love somebody else. You know? And the way you show yourself, man, that you love you know, you do the proper things, man. You need physical, mental, and spiritual things, man, to make it in this world. You need to work out physically. Mentally, you're supposed to work with your mind, do different things, do this and that. And spiritually, I don't know what it may be. I ain't telling you how to follow, whatever you may do. But you need all them three elements in your life, man, to make it. And if you think you don't need it, you can come to me and say, I don't need that. I ain't gonna tell you got that out there. You think that you can't be around me if you ain't got that. Yeah. I hope you can be around yourself.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That's what I hope, man.
Right.
I hope and pray that you become your friend, man. I hope you become the person who loves you. You know, I hope you can look in the mirror and don't have to say, hey, my hair is long. I see people painting themselves and stuff, all that stuff. Man, God gave me the best birthday suit I could ever have, man. I'm proud of myself, man. You know, even when I take off my clothes, I got some flabs here, flabs there, but I don't care. I love every inch of me, man, and I want you to love you too. You know, because nobody else look like you. I used to see a gal, and I used to see people, women with this gal, and I said, what do you want with her? You know, but they be together 30, 40 years. I'm following some fine woman because she look good. If I find a woman because she look good, I'll be chasing women all my life, because as soon as she get old, I have to leave her. Because I'm looking for something pretty.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you, man, I'm trying to give you some information, man. And you can take it like you want to. But I'm going to give it to you, man, because I done lived the life I'm living. And I know, man, it can be harmful, it can be helpful. It's up to you to make a decision how you want to live your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
My dad told me, he came to visit me in one jail one time. I said, Dad, love you. Man, I've been working all my life getting a check. Then I come up to the jailhouse to give you some of my hard-working money. And you talking about, do I love you? Yeah, I love you. He said, but do you love yourself?
Yeah.
Huh, that was powerful.
Yeah.
Do I love myself? Well, I
Yeah.
just went to a place where I don't know what I'm going to eat for breakfast. And then I can't get up and say, hey, give me a pancake and egg.
Right.
You know, I got to eat whatever they want to offer me to eat, you know. It might be a bologna sandwich. I don't even eat meat. You know, might be one donut. I want a heavy dose or whatever it is. I can't do that because I done made a decision to mess my life up. You know, so I don't want people to do that. I don't want. Hey man, I'm telling you that. This is a bitter world, man. When you do things contrary to the way it should be done, it can be
Yeah.
bitter, man.
Bad
And the
decision.
world can be sweet to you, man, if you want to, man. You can wake up. I done see people jump up out the bed ready to go. You know, one time I used to jump up out the bed when I was young. I was chasing dope. I don't chase that no more, but I still jump out of bed. Well, I'm working on hair. I go to work.
Reason to get up.
Doing this. I'm ready to get up, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to sleep that long.
You got a reason to get up.
Yeah.
That's right. Purpose.
That's right.
Hey,
That's
man.
right.
Purpose.
Yeah.
That's the reason we sitting here.
That's
Purpose.
when I'm sitting there, man. I want to be able to help somebody, man.
I wanted to ask Fred about your book. What inspired you to write that book, man?
I wanted to be able to make a difference in the, and not just in my life, but the lives of others. And a lot of our downfall comes from our division. And when I talk about division, I'm talking about how we separate, how we divide ourselves, what causes us. I might not like you. Don't even know why I don't like you. You know, people dislike each other because of religion, the color of your skin, where you live, the school you went to, your neighborhood. You know, all these different reasons. We find and create different reasons to not like somebody, to not like one another. And that, not only does that leave a bitter taste in our mouth and holds us back, but it also affects us financially. Because if you dislike somebody, you can't even come together with them and do something positive in terms of financial growth. So what we dealing with, this also is a generational thing, because we have generational division.
Right.
You know, your parents might not like this family or this group of people, or your friends or whoever, they may not like them. You don't like them. You might be disliking and not connecting with somebody that could be one of the most powerful, positive forces in your life, if you only had a chance to communicate.
But your brother, he made a good point when he said people loving themselves. A lot of times, too, what I found out, it be people inner issues, man, with themselves that they dealing with that cause them not to like somebody for some other reason or not.
That's where it
You know what I'm
started.
saying? But your brother, he made a good point. Love yourself.
That's where it started.
You know.
That's where it started. You got to first love yourself. A lot of people don't even know how to love themselves.
Right.
You know, you got self-love is easily said, but that don't mean it's easily done. You know, that's why you have people want to look like somebody else.
Right.
That's why you got women running around here now. We were just looking at some pictures of some people that we know, some nice looking women, but they had to do more than that for themselves. Now they got big booties. They done went and bought some booties. What they had wasn't good enough for them. It might have been good enough for somebody else, for me or you or whoever, but not liking and loving yourself, that's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the start. Once you can do that, because I ain't always loved me. I wanted to do some things differently, and what I thought was better, and wanted to do it like somebody else. And that's one of the things one of the reasons I even started using drugs, because I felt freedom. I could do what I wanted to do, say what I wanted to say, feel good about it when I did it. But without that, I didn't feel like I could do it. And it takes time for a person to be able to grow into who they are and have an understanding of who they are. Everybody don't even know what makes them happy or what they dislike. And not only don't know it, when they do know it, a lot of times people are afraid to share that with the next person.
Right.
You know, yeah, you'd be surprised. Well, you probably wouldn't be, because you know yourself. It's people that have somebody can be saying things to them, doing things to them, and they won't even tell me, hey, I don't like that.
Right.
They'll just let them go on like it ain't bothering them, it ain't hurting them, you know. and to the point till they get to a point now where they just blow up. I'm ready. I'm ready to hurt somebody now. When all that could have been eliminated, they could have just, hey man, I don't want you to say that to me, or don't do that. I don't like that. And then if you do that, and they still turn around and insist on doing or saying the things to you that you told them you don't like, then you know you gone.
Yeah, you can cross. Cross boundaries you way past the boundaries because I'm gonna give you. You made a good point. I was talking to this guy, and that's one of the things on my itinerary in the school is bullying. He said that when he was going to school, he said this happened back in the 70s. He said this kid was teasing this kid on the bus every day. He was teasing him. He was pushing this little kid. The kid was kind of, to himself.
Right.
He said the kid came to school one day and shot that boy.
Wow.
He said when he shot that boy, the boy said, "What'd I do to you?" He said, "I was just playing."
Wow.
You can't do people like that, man.
You can't.
Okay, I'm tell you about that. You know what we function from? Internal and external things.
Yes.
External is things you can see, visible.
Yes.
Like you come and hit me, or you could push me, or you do something to me.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, I can see that. Internal is things that's in you that you have to work with.
Yes.
And you don't know how to work with them. And a lot of times, you don't have to be in get anything to somebody. Somebody say something bad to you, and you think it's because he hates you. It's something in him.
It's something absolutely.
Right.
You ain't
Absolutely.
did nothing to him.
Right.
It's called internal forces.
You just trigger the mechanism.
Yeah,
to
it's
get it
internal
going. Yeah.
forces. You know.
Yes.
When
You available.
when a
Yeah.
person-
Yeah. Absolutely.
You available.
Absolutely. What can change them internal forces that you talking about?
the internal
How does
forces.
somebody change that's dealing with that deep rooted stuff? What
One
changes
thing,
that?
One thing. But this is what I do. If somebody says something to me I don't like, I don't hesitate. I said, man, I don't really like that. You know, I don't go home and let it take plant in me, but he didn't say it about me. You know, I said, man, I don't like that. That's another thing, man. I'm married now. I am not gonna let my wife and us having a disagreement because there ain't no two people on earth that ain't never had an argument that they together. If you ain't had an argument, one of y'all faking.
Right.
You know, so if you had a girlfriend and y'all ain't never had an argument, y'all faking. So what I do, man, make sure I do, is that before we go to sleep, we stop that. I ain't gonna go to sleep angry. Not with my wife.
Right.
Because you go to sleep that way, how you gonna wake up?
Yeah.
You know. So I'm trying to do, hey man, I'm gonna tell you something. I learned a lot, man. I didn't just go travel through this world and did nothing stick up here.
Right.
It's something up here now, man. You know, I thought that if I go to school, that I would get smart. But after I graduated from college, I went back to prison. So being able to do some math, being able to do some spelling, that don't mean that you will have you'll make right decisions. Common sense.
That's right. Right.
You don't necessarily have to have that, man.
Yeah.
And you see it every day, but people don't have it, man.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to get you to, hey man, come on, man, travel with me, man.
That's a good point because I was in my first marriage. I dealt with some stuff with my wife, and when I got married again, I kind of carried that baggage over there. So when I would get mad, I would leave out the room and go lay in another room.
Wow.
My wife like, nah, buddy, get back in here. You gotta deal with your inner self.
Right.
There's some stuff you gotta deal with. Then I say shit in the middle of the night when the wood get hard. I want to be close to mom anyway. Yeah. No, but she
That's
said,
a good woman.
yeah, she said,
Good,
nah.
strong
She
woman,
came.
yeah.
She came and said, well, I was in the other room. Nah, bro, you gotta check that.
Yeah.
You gotta check that at the door, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So a lot of times we hold on to other stuff in our past. That won't let us
Absolutely.
move forward.
That's right.
Now she's my best friend. That's my baby.
I just heard she was.
Yeah.
You just told me she was your best friend. You know,
Check that quick.
yeah, no, we're gonna straighten this
We're gonna
out.
straighten that up. Yeah.
And see what you just said, we just touched on. That's the same thing you were talking about.
Yeah,
and
right.
It's because we dealing with communication.
Yes. Yes.
See, communication
Yes.
is the key.
Yes.
You know, you got to, in order for you to be, first you got to be honest with yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, and when you be honest with you, now I can be honest with somebody else.
Absolutely.
You know, hey, hey, Brian, I ain't like the way you did that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I ain't feel right. What did you?
Right.
Why did you
Right.
do that?
That's right.
You
That's
know,
it. That's
and
it.
then you can tell me, say, well,
That's
no,
it.
I
That's
wasn't
it.
trying to hurt you.
That's it.
This is what I meant when I did that.
That's it.
And then after we communicate and talk about things, something that you did that I didn't like, I may find out that, hey, I appreciate you for doing what you did. Cause now I got an understanding.
That's right.
You know, but long if it ain't never, we don't never get no understanding, it's gonna always be some issues, some problems. You know, I don't know where you coming from. Communication is one of the key components
Yes.
of our program.
Yes.
This is what we work on. Communication. We deal a lot with fear, and fear is what caused a lot of the things that Harry touched on earlier when you're talking about procrastination and want to be liked and all of them different things. You know, those are fears that makes you move in those directions. You talk about procrastination. Procrastination comes about because you fear stepping out and doing what you know you need to be doing. No, I ain't gonna do that today. I got something else to do. You ain't got nothing to do. You know, but do what you're supposed to be doing. You know, lie. People lie like that because they scared to tell the truth.